Hello, I am Scott.
Hi, I'm Andy.
We're from Frightened Rabbit, and this is the AU Review.
Welcome back to Australia.
Thank you.
It's your second time here in the last 12 months. Slightly different time of year this time, a little warmer, a little nicer.
Yeah.
Perhaps too warm.
Well, far too warm to be playing outdoor festivals. It certainly has been a sweaty time for us. But, you know, we fully expected that. I still don't really understand why you put on festivals at this time of year, but that's fair enough. It's a real privilege to be asked back to play Laneways. I think it's one of the best festivals we've ever been at and ever played. So we're dead pleased to be invited by them.
Well, it was the first time you came to Australia was for Laneway.
The first time we came to Australia, no,
That was just for a jolly. We did. What did we do? Woodford Folk Festival and a number of other kind of small festivals around the kind of outside of cities. There was no major festivals then.
Second time was Laneway, and we only did Melbourne and Sydney.
Yeah.
So to get the chance to go to Singapore and New Zealand, two places we've never been before, was amazing. So
yeah, the lineup for Laneways this year was insane. Yeah, when I seen that, I was just like, yeah, this is going to be more than playing shows. It's like, yeah, what a fantastic time we're having.
Yeah.
Have you been able to see many of the other bands on the lineup?
Yeah, you get the chance. That's the great thing about it. It's not too crowded a lineup. It's a small, well selected. So there's a lot of our favourite bands are on there. So getting the chance to see Kurt Vile, Youth Lagoon, a bit of Daughter, our friends Churches. It's been. Who else have you seen that you've?
I've been King Cruel. He's been.
He's been great.
He's been good. They've been working out. It's been good seeing them. I haven't seen Warpaint yet, but that'll be a good one for the next two nights.
And you mentioned you played Singapore for the first time. How does that part of the world compare to other shows you've played?
Surprisingly similar. Singapore was actually, we had no expectations. We didn't know whether anyone there had heard of us or even liked the band. So to turn up and to have an audience there that a lot of whom obviously knew the songs, was a really big surprise. So hopefully this is just like Laneways has started something for us whereby we can then return to that part of the world and play our own shows. It's nice to know that there are fans in these places that we've never visited before. So yeah, the reaction was fantastic. I think there was a lot of people there who had been waiting for quite some time to see us. They could have been a fan for potentially 7 years and never got the chance. So there was a lot of enthusiasm.
When it comes to this the album cycle, which I suppose this is kind of coming to the end of it, have you played other places for the first time? Has it introduced you to a lot of new areas? As you've toured the new record around? Yeah,
for this record really one of the things we really wanted to do was to get to do some more shows in Canada. So we've only ever really done Vancouver once, Toronto and Montreal, the usual spots. We got to go a bit further in, see the smaller cities. That was great, just to see some of the landscape and stuff there was magnificent. And Scandinavia for the first time as well, which seems weird because it's very, very close to Scotland. However, we've never had the chance.
And it's not a cheap place to tour.
No, it's not a cheap place to go, full stop, but well worthwhile. Again, a lot of people who had been waiting for quite some time. So the reaction under those circumstances is kind of almost, there could be people in Los Angeles who have seen us 10 times over the past 5 years. These people have never seen us. So the reaction becomes a lot more it can become heightened, I guess.
Do you, when you're doing your set list for those sorts of shows, do you keep that in mind that these are people who've never seen you or potentially never seen you live before?
Yeah, I mean it's a very varied set.
Yeah,
we play stuff from all albums every night. So
I think that's important, and we try not to completely neglect. We're promoting a new album.
You would like to.
Yeah, I know. But it's important to get a good spread because we have 4 albums to our name at this point, and and some of these places actually don't know if you'll be back for a while. This is the end of our touring cycle, and we wanted to be generous with the sets that we played. So we're going a wee bit over their standard 90 minutes a lot of nights.
You did last night, that's for sure. What was that, 5 tunes by or something?
I did 3, Andy. Yeah, I wasn't that indulgent.
So they've been pretty epic sets for your side shows.
Yeah, we just like to be generous with and give a sense of value for money. I don't take it for granted that people spend their cash on coming to see our band, and I think that anything less than an hour and a half is a bit of a rip-off. So yeah,
it helps that you're enjoying yourself as well when you're doing the shows. Like
that
definitely comes across. Like when Scott does a number of songs by himself.
Yeah, no,
you can tell that he's really getting into it.
That's what. Yeah, that's when it's I think that it's important as well to the small bits off the cuff that I do on my own. Again, for people to feel like they're getting an experience that's not happening every night. They get a different song. I try and mix up that part of the set a little bit. So that again is really important, I think, to give people a unique experience.
So what happens next? It's the end of the cycle. What's the rest of the year going to be holding for you?
Well, when we get back, we're going to go into the studio and muck about. That's as far as it's
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, we've got a hall booked, and we're going to take some gear and record what happens in the hall. But who knows?
We've got 2 weeks in the studio, and that could create an album that is completely separate from Frightened Rabbit, or it could end up just being a bit of fun that nobody wants to listen to. But I have high hopes for it. I think there's a group of us going up that are kind of will hopefully take the whole emphasis of what Frightened Rabbit has become, which is about writing songs, that people can invest in and sing along to. And this particular album, if it were, is not going to be like that. So I think it's just nice to go and refresh the palette before we go back. We're obviously going to start writing a new Frightened Rabbit album, but I don't think anyone's quite ready to do that yet, because we spent such a long time together and working on this band, and I think it's important to get a break. What do you think?
I think it will be a very well-deserved break.
Yeah,
we're going to have. Yeah. Who knows what's going to come of it, but that'll be a release of something.
I think so. Yeah, a release. Yeah.
Whether or not that release is an actual physical
actually
CD or
released.
Not.
Yeah. A palatable release.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it'll be exciting to see what comes next in any case, and it's always a pleasure seeing you guys here in Australia. So
cheers.
Look forward to seeing you next time.
Thanks very much.